Hi students. So we entered into second year. This is our third semester. Okay. So our syllabus paper name is electromagnetic theory. Okay. So same as first and second semesters, we have 4 units here. One is electrostatics, second one is magnetostatics, and third one is electromagnetic theory. Okay, means electromagnetic induction. Next, fourth one is it is a new topics they added, that is varying and alternating currents. Okay, so we are going to learn these 4 chapters in this semester about electricity, about magnetism and magnetic theory, total network theorems. Okay, and the practicals you have total electronics part, that is the network theorems, Thevenin theorem, superposition theorem, maximum power transmission theorem. Like this, you have theorems. Okay, and you know your paper pattern, section A and section B. In section A, you have total 12 questions. So there you have to attempt 8 questions out of 12. Each carries 4 points. Okay, next section B, you have totally 4 internal choice, A or B. Okay, you should attempt all the questions, all the 4. Total 80 marks. Okay. Now we are going to start our first unit, that is electrostatics. Okay. So first we are going to see the Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? Okay. Before going this, we should know about the charges. Okay, just basics. So you all know that any substance consists of atoms. Atom consists of 3 particles. One is electrons, protons and neutrons. Electrons are always revolving around the nucleus, and protons and neutrons are in nucleus. These two combined we will call it as a nucleons, right? And neutrons is a negative, neutral charge, and proton is a positively charged particle. So that's why we will call the nucleus as a positively charged particle. Next, electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Electrons is a negatively charged particle. Okay. Now, number of electrons or protons treated as a atomic number of particular element. Okay. And what is the mass number? The mass of neutron and proton combined we call it as a mass number, that is A. Atomic number is indicated by Z and mass number indicated by A. Okay. So now we will see the Coulomb's law. Okay. It states that the force of attraction or repulsion. Attraction depends upon charges only. Okay. Unlike charges attract each other, and like poles or like charges repel each other. Now it states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two stationary point charges is directly proportional to what? Product of two charges, and inversely proportional to square of a distance between them. Okay. If Q1 and Q2, suppose, okay, two charges we are going to take. See the figure here. Q1 and Q2 are two charges, okay, point charges, and the distance between these two is R. R is the distance we are taking here. Okay. Now the force acting on these two charges will be F is directly proportional to product of two charges, that is Q1 and Q2. Okay, and inversely proportional to square of a distance between them. Okay, so that is 1 by R square. Now combine these two. Okay, so we'll get F is directly proportional to Q1 into Q2 by R square, which we can write it as a 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R square, where this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is proportionality constant. Okay, it is having some value, and here epsilon naught value is 8 into 10 power 9. 8.9 into 10 power minus 12 coulomb square per newtons meter square. Okay. Now if we substitute that one here, we will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value. That is nothing but 9 into 10 power 9 newtons meter square per coulombs square. Okay. So this is our Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is nothing but force of attraction or repulsion between two charges is proportional to product of two charges and inversely proportional to square of a distance between them, that is Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay. Now what is electric field? See here, electric field. Okay. Electric field is nothing but the regions around an electric charge or group of charges. Okay, oka charge anna undochu, otherwise a group of charges surrounding it there is some force experiences. Okay, that is called as a electric field. The reason surrounding an electric charge or a group of charges in which another charge experiences a force is called electric field. But what is electric lines of force? The path of free positive charge in an electric field is called electric lines. See here, the figure shows electric lines of force. Okay, so these are the path of electric force. Okay, so here we have taken positive and negative. That's why it is seen the electric lines of force will be like this. If suppose both are positive or both are negative, then the electric lines of force will be this is the way. Okay, repelling each other. Okay, so anyway the electric lines of force will be the path of that force. Okay, lines of force. Now what is electric flux? Electric flux through a surface placed inside the electric field represent total number of electric lines of force crossing this surface in a direction normal to the surface. Okay, means suppose this is a electric field. We have taken one surface, any irregular surface we have taken. This is the electric field direction. Okay, normal to the surface. Now what is electric flux? The electric lines, just now we have seen electric lines, no? So that electric lines of force which crosses or cutting this surface represents that electric flux. Okay, now see, divide this surfaces into number of elements. Okay, now we have taken one element, that is ds. This is the element, electric field E. Okay, now the total flux phi E through an electric surface which is given by electric flux is indicated by phi E. Phi E equal to integral E dot del S. Del S or ds is same. Okay, small surface will indicate with del S or ds. We can write that E into integral ds is nothing but total surface area. That's why we have written capital S, ES. Phi E equal to ES. Okay, next see. If suppose theta is there in between E and ds, okay, just now we consider one surface delta S and E is the electric field. Okay, there is an angle between these two, then we can write it as E delta S is E ds into cos theta. Okay, now the electric flux will be, see, phi E equal to integral E dot ds, this cos theta. Okay, E cos theta we took out and integral ds. Integral ds is nothing but what? Total surface area will get. So that's why I wrote A here. So therefore del E, phi E. Okay, this is electric flux, phi suffix E is equal to E dot A dot cos theta. This is our electric flux. Okay, in the next chapter we are going to see magnetic flux. Only the difference is here we will get the B. Okay, letter B. Electricity phi E, magnetic field phi B. Okay, here we will get B there. Next chapter. Okay, so that is our electric flux. Now we are entering into Gauss law. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so Gauss law is the converse of Coulomb's law. Okay, Gauss law states that normal electric flux phi E over a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge. Total charge is Q enclosed in that surface. Mathematically it can be expressed as phi E equal to, okay, phi E how can we write? E dot ds. E dot ds into cos theta. That is equal to what statement said? 1 by epsilon naught times of total charge. So 1 by epsilon naught into Q. Where epsilon naught is what? Permittivity. Okay, permittivity of a free space. If suppose any medium is present, then we'll indicate with epsilon. Epsilon naught is for air or vacuum or a free space. Anyway, Gauss law statements is the total electric flux which is equal to or proportional to 1 by epsilon naught times of its total charge. Okay, so here we have two cases. Okay, first case is when the charge is within the surface, and second one is when the charge is outside the surface. Means what? If we take any surface, okay, see this is the surface. If we take any irregular surface, okay, that is a charge inside the surface, what is its electric field? Second case enti, what is the second case? If suppose this charge taken outside of the surface, what is the electric field there? We are going to calculate. Now we are going to see the first case. Okay, for that we have one figure. We have taken surface, any irregular surface, right? Now any positive charge, okay, at point O considered, okay, plus Q at O. Now one point we have taken at the surface. This is our small surface indicated by ds at a point P. The electric field direction is this way, this direction E, this is ds. Okay, now the distance from here to point P is r. Now the angle join these two lines. Okay, so this is of distance r and the angle here is d omega, solid angle, that is d omega. Okay, now d phi e, why we have taken d phi suffix e? For small surface we are going to calculate after the total integration. If we do, we will get the total electric flux, right? So d phi e equal to e dot ds into cos theta. Okay, theta is the angle between e and ds. This is e, this is ds. Okay, now from Coulomb's law, what is the electric intensity? Just now we have seen, okay, Coulomb's law 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 by r square. But q1 q2 q3 avanni ante total charge. That's why total charge indicated by capital Q. Okay, E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square. Understand? So this is d phi E. This is our electric intensity from the Coulomb's law. Now substitute this E value in the first equation. Okay, so d phi E equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into R square into ds cos theta. Okay, now see ds cos theta by r square oka bracket lo pettukondi. This is nothing but our solid angle d omega. Okay, therefore d phi e equal to this q by 4 pi epsilon naught into this, we can write it as a d omega. Fine. The total electric flux phi e over the entire whole surface manaku kavalsindi entama total electric flux kavali. We just calculated for small surface. Now we are going to calculate for the total surface. Okay, that is nothing but phi e. Phi e equal to, see, d phi e, this one I am sending that integral this side. If derivation comes this side, right side, we are getting integral. So phi e equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught integral d omega. Okay, now integral d omega is nothing but 4 pi. From the figure we can write this angle is 4 times of pi. So instead of that integral dw, okay, see here integral dw is there, no? There we are writing 4 pi. 4 pi get cancelled. So left with q by epsilon. Okay, therefore phi e equal to q by epsilon naught. Right? Now suppose let us take charges in a closed surface. We have taken plus q1 plus q2 plus q3 so on. Similarly minus q1 dash minus q2 dash, like that. Okay, ivanni charges placed in that entire surface. Now total electric flux given by 1 by epsilon naught. This one 1 by epsilon naught. Total Q means total charges, summation of all these charges. Okay, so q1 plus q2 plus q3, okay, minus q1 dash minus q2 dash minus q3 dash, so on. Okay, that we can write it as summation sigma of q. Okay, where q is the algebraic sum of all the charges. Therefore the total normal electric flux over the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed within the surface. Avuna? Ade kada? That is our Gauss law, right? Which is our Gauss law. Phi e equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of charge. This is our Gauss law for the charge when it is placed inside the sphere or inside the surface. Now we are going to see when the charge is outside the surface. Okay, see here figure. We have taken one irregular surface. We consider one point, charge, okay, plus q outside the surface at O. Okay, see, I think plus Q at O. Now I have drawn cone shaped lines like this. It cuts the surface at points P, Q, R and S. Okay, here small surfaces we wrote DS1, small surface here DS2 and DS3, this is DS4. Okay, now this cone shaped angle cuts the point P at DS1, Q at DS2, R at DS3, S at DS4. And one more thing, here the electric flux entering, see the arrow mark here, which is entering into the surface. Here which is going out the surface. Again entering, again going out. Which is entering into the surface, that we are considering as a negative. Okay, when it is going out, the electric flux outward direction shows positive. Again this is coming inside, take it as a negative. This is going outside, take it as a positive. So these two becomes negative, these two DS2 and DS4 becomes positive. Okay, now see here. Now electric flux for DS1 at a point P will be, can be written as minus. This is coming inside, so we treat it as a negative. That's why I wrote negative here. Minus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into its angle d omega. Similarly, DS2, okay, this is DS2 at Q plus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into d omega. At R, DS3 minus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into d omega. Okay, at S, see S point, that is DS4 plus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught into d omega. Right? Now adding of all this, okay, add all these surfaces, will get, see, this plus this one, second one, third one and fourth one. So one is negative, other one is positive, negative, positive. Okay, so cancel each other, will get the 0. That means what we understand, the total electric flux over the whole surface due to an external charge is 0. Okay, when the charge is outside the surface, then Gauss law shows it is, means Gauss law says the electric flux will be 0. Understand? These are the two cases for Gauss law. One is inside, other one is outside. If it is inside, the value flux, the total electric flux will be 1 by epsilon naught times into charge. If it is outside the surface, it shows total electric flux will be 0. Okay? Thank you. Tomorrow again